Hey everybody, so I apologize for the lateness of this video. As everybody knows, a lot happened at the end of 2020 there, so time was not working with me to be able to get this edited and out in time. And I want to really apologize to my special guest for making him wait so long for his video to come out. So I really am sorry about that. I thought about putting this in 2 parts because this is going to be a quite long video, but just the flow didn't work right. So I'm just going to leave it as one long video. I apologize for the long timing on this, but trust me, we had so much fun, and I really do hope you enjoy it. What's cooking, everybody? I'm so excited for today's show because I have a special guest, my very dear friend Sam Benton, who is going to make something amazing.
Well, let's hope that it's amazing. I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah, it'll be amazing.
It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. I met Sam through D&D, and now he's just become a core part of our group. So, and I saw some of his stuff that he was posting on Facebook, and like, okay, he needs to be on the show because these are some amazing things. So, what are we going to be making today?
Okay, today what we're going to make is a steak and stout pie. It's an Irish and English staple. Very easy to make, but it's very delicious. It's comforting. It's warm. It's homey. It's filling.
Perfect for autumn.
Perfect for autumn. Perfect for holidays.
Yeah.
And just a wonderful dish to make because you can have it at the holidays. You can make it overnight so that on Christmas morning you can just throw your pies in the oven. Lovely little snacky munchy food.
Perfect. Perfect. What else are we doing?
We're going to do some roasted potatoes, and we're going to do some sprouts that are tossed in butter with some balsamic vinegar.
Ooh, butter.
Ooh. And I am going to drink some stout while we cook.
Are we also doing pancakes?
We are. Oh yes, I forgot. While that's happening, we're going to make some brunch. We're going to make a Dutch baby pancake, which is a very European way of making pancakes in the oven. Set and forget. And we're going to have manly mimosas with our brunch. Oh yes.
See, this is why I wanted him on, because I just make one thing. He's making a whole meal.
There we go. Brunch and supper. Look at that.
So let's get to it.
So this is some rump steak with some salt and pepper on it. There's salt, a bit of time to soak in so some of the moisture can come out. We have some olive oil here. So with a cast iron, you want it to be just smoking. Ooh. And we'll do this in batches so that
we don't crowd the pan.
We don't crowd the pan. And why do we not crowd the pan, Bert?
Because it will release excess water.
Ah, yes.
And then it doesn't crisp up right.
That's right. It steams the meat instead of searing the meat.
Yep.
It'd be nice to get it seared. It doesn't really matter because it's all going to be put in like a stew and baked in the oven anyway. So, but the obsessive cook in me likes to have a nice bit of browning on the meat. Ooh, I've never done that with a sporran on before, Bert. That was quite exciting.
For those that don't know, or maybe you can kind of see in the video, we are wearing our kilts today.
Oh yeah, it's cooking with Bert and Sam in kilts.
Yes.
There we go, yes.
If you want tongs, I've got those too.
Oh, you have tongs? That would be better, yeah. What did people do before the invention of tongs?
Right?
I don't know. How did I guess they just roasted a whole animal over a fire.
Oh yeah, there's that.
You can use any beef, I guess, really. Stewing steak is fine. But I got some nice Black Angus rump because it's a little leaner.
Okay.
Don't want too much oil to come out when we make the pie because it will make the bottom soggy and cloyish and it won't be nice.
Oh, that looks so good. I love a good beef with just like sauteed mushrooms.
Oh yeah. And that's why I love cooking with this cast iron because it's so easy to get that nice sear and get that nice, especially since we have where I live, we can cook outside, but it's public grills,
right?
So I never keen.
Yeah.
But you can kind of ape a barbecue, with this, I
think I did my first searing of meat just 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh, right. So yes, there you go. Look at that. Nice sear on there. So yeah, with the cast iron, I cook. The only thing I don't cook in it is fish because it's too strong. But you can steak, pork chops, burgers. I love doing burgers in it.
Now, how do you clean your?
You do not clean it.
Okay. I mean, just wipe it out with a paper towel.
Yeah,
kind of a thing?
scrape any eggs off and wipe it off. It should never see water. This is like 6 years old, never seen water.
Okay.
Sometimes, if it gets a bit of build up, you can sort of like just put it in like a really hot oven, like 450 degrees for like 45 minutes, and that will just burn anything off, and then you can just clean it off that way.
I've seen those chainmail cloths supposedly for cast iron, and I'm like, who uses those?
Yeah, I mean, because I would use one of these. Just sometimes you get stuff stuck on it, like when you put garlic and things in, it can sort of stick.
So it's kind of a lot like my stoneware. That doesn't use. I mean, I use water, but no soap whatsoever.
Right? Yeah. And the more you use it, the more flavour it's putting in. Like this has had 5 years, so this is already starting to add flavour to the meat before we even cook anything, really. Okay, do you want to do a batch?
No, you go right ahead.
Okay.
I'm like that Julia Child show much later on where she had other people on
right
and did the cooking, and she would just stick her fingers and stuff.
Yeah, and explain to them what they're doing.
Right. Or in a way telling them they were doing something wrong.
Right, yeah, that's not how I did it.
Right.
I was a late comer to Julia Child. We never saw her in England when I was growing up. We had Delia Smith. I don't know if you know Delia Smith.
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah, she was like the English equivalent. She was all about the basic cooking, teaching people to boil an egg because some people don't know.
And for my one of my favorite fans and co-host of another show, Nicole, I wanted to let her know, you can't quite see it on camera at the moment unless you looked earlier, but we're making a mirepoix. We've got carrot, celery, and onion. She'll be so excited.
Right. Well, I was excited to learn that. I'd never heard that phrase.
Yep.
Pan is doing just right. Look at that lovely sear.
Oh,
see that? Look
beautiful.
at that. Lovely.
That's the one thing we don't eat a lot of in our house just because it sometimes gets so expensive, is beef.
Oh, yeah, especially at the moment as well. Beef is very expensive. But I've got a few recipes where you can use the cheaper cuts. There's a really nice slow cooker recipe I do that uses a whole chuck roast, and that's really quite affordable for beef, we shouldn't eat too much beef.
Right.
Really not very good for us. But it's so delicious.
It is.
Splendid. Cheers.
No, I'm like, where's my... Oh.
Would you oh, you're on the mountain.
Cheers.
Oh, I like those. They close themselves.
It's a gravity thing.
There it is. Yes, my one I have to do all kinds of acrobatics to open and close them. Okay, we should be able to do these last bits all together. Oh yes, plenty of room.
Now, is this something that can be made ahead and you can reheat, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, once it's cooked, you could even freeze it. And get it out later. I was saying, I think it's nice to do at Christmas. We're going to do this in the oven, but what you can do is you can make this stew and put it in the slow cooker, and then Christmas Eve, just let it cook overnight. In the morning, you're going to have the oven on. Make your pies up, throw it in the oven, and it's just like a nice like Christmas Day snacky food. You know? Yeah, and they'll keep in the fridge quite nicely. You can reheat it in the oven for a couple of days, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all robust ingredients, so you know.
Look, Nicole, a mirepoix.
Ah. It's not a mirepoix yet, but it's a potential mirepoix.
It's a potential mirepoix. Yeah. That is very true.
Although I don't know. I've never been to a chef's school, so Maybe it is a mirepoix even before you make it.
No, you're correct. It's a potential mirepoix.
Right, okay. So yes, look at that. All lovely and sealed up. Nice. Still a little bit of blood in it because we want that to sort of like cook into the...
Well, yeah, and since
stew.
we're baking it, you don't want to thoroughly cook it because then it'll just...
Yeah, then if we stick it in the oven, it's just going to go hard and nasty, yeah.
I'm going to totally be Julia Child right now.
Oh yeah, help yourself, mate.
Oh my god, that is so good.
Alright, so we're going to set that beef to one side. Is that a spoon stand I see there?
Yes.
Splendid. Right, so now we've got all that lovely beef flavour sat on there. A little more olive oil. And we're going to put our carrots, celery and onion. Oh,
That's right, I do that all the time.
all over the floor apparently. So that's a whole onion. What was it? It was 4 carrots we had?
Yes, 4 carrots, 4 celery, and a whole onion.
Alright, there we go. And now we have a mirepoix.
Now we have a mirepoix.
Oh, these are going to be quite full pies. We might have some leftover veggies.
That's fine.
Yeah.
My wife has been doing a lot of vegetables lately, so we get a ton of vegetables.
Right.
Chop them all up and freeze them, and then she takes them out and roasts them as she needs them.
Right, yeah, yeah. Well, this would be fine. This would be like, I mean, you could almost do like, because we're going to have a gravy. Because when we make the pies, we're going to have some of the juice left over, which is going to be good for a gravy. So you can just add some gravy, like a gravy salsa. Have we just invented a dish?
I think so.
Oh my gosh! Stout gravy salsa.
Oh, look at those.
Yeah.
You can see they're getting all that nice flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've sold me on a cast iron.
Oh yeah. Such a useful thing. It's the most useful thing I've got in my kitchen. And aside from the casserole dish and the pie dish, this is technically one pot cooking because everything we're cooking today is going to be cooked in here, except for the pie when we bake it. But that's baking. That's different.
Right.
So yeah, we just want these to be softened up. All right. Now we need some chicken stock. Some wonderful Guinness. I was going to go and get some a craft brewed stout to do this with. But then I thought if I'm going to go and buy an expensive craft brewed stout, I'm going to want to drink it.
Right.
And Guinness is always available and actually lends itself quite well to cooking, I always think. Now, how much do we need of that? About half a cup. Well, let's just do it by eye, I think. Oh, garlic. Do you know what we forgot is garlic?
I do have...
Do you have minced already?
Well, I've got this that we can use a...
Oh, you have a crusher?
Crusher.
Splendid.
Or I do have the...
Let's use the fresh if we're going to do it. Oh, yeah.
When I'm just not in the mood.
I use that stuff all the time. Yeah, let's just... Oh, no, you've got a thing.
I've got a thing.
Of course you've got a thing.
Oh, that one's kind of a bad one. How many cloves do we need?
All the ones that I put there.
This one's a little...
Oh, yes, throw that one out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Every modern convenience. It's like the kitchen of tomorrow.
I believe in making it easy. Just right in?
Yes. I almost forgot the garlic. That would have been a disaster.
Right.
Right, so the onions have gone nice and translucent. So we're ready to turn this into a stew. Alright, so bottle of Guinness, which is going to foam up all over the place. We don't want to boil it.
Right.
We want to just bring it to like just below a boil, I suppose. Is that a simmer? I guess. Yes. Half a cup in, I think. If it looks like we need some more, we can always add some more. Okay, just let that warm up a little. Look at this. So let's measure it and ignore the measurement. Because that's how I like to cook. But
that's the best way.
Yeah.
It ensures that each time you make it, it's unique.
That's right, yeah. And it also means that, you know, it's how I learned to cook, really, because I would take a recipe and I would sort of like say, well, I mean, I would either be missing something, or I would say, well, I don't want to use that, I want to use this, you know. And it teaches you a lot, because sometimes you say, I want to use this, and then when you eat it, it was a mistake. Right, that's just starting to bubble a little, so let's put some mushrooms in. So yeah, we are going to need a little more stock, I think. Oh yes, there we go. I mean, that looks delicious on its own, doesn't it?
It does.
You could just sit down, you know, with a bag of chips, watch America's Got Talent, and just munch away on that.
Now, where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from England. I've got a mixed heritage from England, as all English people do. And I've been in America for 10 years. 10 years? 9 years. 9 years. 10 years next year, yeah.
Well, we are lucky to have him.
You flatterer. It made me laugh when I was over the other day, and Kelly said, "This is Sam. He's infiltrated our group."
He did.
What an ominous thing to say.
But like, not like you did it. Like everybody just kind of kept bringing you elsewhere.
Right, so I think this is about ready to go in the oven. So let's turn the oven on to 325, please, mate. Let's get that heated up. That can just sit and bubble a little while. And all we're going to do is we're going to just put that into there, and we just throw that in the oven.
Okay.
And then we can have a little clean up.
Yay!
Yay! The best part of cooking.
Like I always say, clean up as you go. Then you don't have so much work to do at the end.
That's right.
But I cheat and I just put all my dishes in the sink and make my mother do it.
Ah, well, that would not work for me because she lives on the other side of an ocean. But I imagine my mum will be watching this, so hi, Mum.
Hi, Mom.
Oh yes, look at that gravy. Look how lovely that looks.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
And that's pretty lean as well. We haven't really used any. We used a bit of olive oil. There will be the beef fat, but there's very low fat, very high vegetable. It's actually quite healthy.
Yeah.
If you ignore all the carbs in the pastry. But that's what carbs in pastry are for, ignoring.
Yes. Yes. And if you cut into them, the calories fall out, remember.
And here are the other vital things. Do you use bay very often?
Not often.
Right.
I don't think I've had too many recipes that have actually called for it.
No, it's quite a European thing. A lot of stews and things. Oh my gosh.
5-second rule.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these aren't any good anyway because they're a bit brown. Here is a bay leaf. Look at that. A little smell. It's not something that you chop, you just literally throw it in.
Right.
You can just toss that in there, and that will go in, and that will release its flavour out, and then you don't want to eat it because they taste nasty.
Right.
So you take it out when we make the pie.
I think one of my ex-girlfriends, her mom, taught me how to make homemade, they were Italian.
Right,
Taught me to make homemade spaghetti, and I think she would always put in a bay leaf.
Yeah.
She also put in a salted pork thing, and then would take that out at the end.
Oh, right, yeah, like just like a pork hock.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're seasoning with the meat. That's yeah. And we're going to be quite generous with our thyme here. A few lovely sprigs of thyme. Ooh,
yes.
delicious, yes.
We use those, rosemary, and something else in our, and lemons in our turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh, right, yes, lovely.
Because we don't like the stuffing in the turkey, so we fill it with that.
Right, yeah. And I think we'll be quite generous with that because I think it's going to add a nice aromatic flavour to it.
Now, do we leave those in, take them out at the end, or?
When we take this out of the oven, we're going to take. I mean, we can. Most of the leaves will kind of break up in there, so we'll take the big twigs out. We'll take the bay leaf out, and then we'll make our pie.
Gotcha.
Lovely.
God, this looks good.
Okay. Should we have an extreme close-up? Where's my thing? Okay.
Ooh,
How does that look?
yes.
Yum.
Yep.
Okay, so here we are. The oven is hot.
Yep.
Now what we're going to do is we're just going to pour all of this. Oh, do it that way.
Would you like me to scrape?
Yes, please, mate. You can already smell that thyme, can't you? That's delicious.
Ooh, there is a lot in there.
Yeah, yeah. There's more. We've got way more than we need here, but that's okay. That can turn
God,
off.
that smells so good.
Yeah, let's get those, all that herb buried down in the juice so that it can marinate out.
That one doesn't want to.
It doesn't. That's okay. All right, there we go. Now into the bottom oven, and that's going to sit in there for hour and a half at least, but probably let's say 2 hours. And now there will be a brief hiatus for a commercial break. And we're back.
Oh, what kind of pans do we need?
We don't. We're going to use the cast iron. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Actually, before we do anything, let's heat up the top oven. 425, I think.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah. Sounds right. And let's put that in there so that it can warm up to the oven.
Perfect.
And that's the wonderful thing about a cast iron. Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Dutch baby pancakes, sometimes called a Bismarck, or what is it you called it?
Pannenkoeken.
Pannenkoeken. Pannenkoeken. It's very Dutch. Yeah, that's very. I think it's the same thing. Very easy.
Yes.
We have 3 eggs, half a cup of flour, half a cup of milk, a tablespoon of sugar, and a pinch of nutmeg, and we're just going to dump that into the kitchen of tomorrow.
So all at once?
Yeah, just put it in. We're going to make up a batter. Simple as that. I'm making Bert do this bit. So that I can enjoy some more Guinness. We should have made way more pies, then I would be drinking less Guinness.
Alright. Will you hand me a spatula? One of the silicone ones with a wooden handle. Yep, that green one's perfect.
Oh, there we go.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
Right, yeah, yeah. So I normally have to do this by hand with a whisk, but it doesn't take too long. It's a
No.
pretty easy batter to do. It's a really nice batter as well. If you take the sugar and the nutmeg out, you can use this to make toad in the hole.
What is that?
Toad in the hole. Now that's a very English meal. It's basically sausages, or what you would know as brats, cooked in batter with onion gravy. So you sort of mostly cook your brats so they're nice and brown. Pour the batter over it, cook it for 20 minutes, and then you just pour onion gravy over it. That's, as my grandma would say, coats the inside of your ribs.
If you're like me and you have a mixer that doesn't quite want to mix all the way to the sides and the bottom, that's alright. I can take this off.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't really want it lumpy, right?
No, we want to get all the lumps out. That's...
Alright, well, you hand me that whisk.
Yes, I will. There you go, sir. I'm just going to cut this butter up. We have 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to take the pan out, get it in there because I don't want it to brown too much, and then just pour the batter straight over it in the oven for 20 minutes. Simple as that.
And then my idea of a pannenkoeken is to have chocolate ones.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll put cocoa powder and then when I put it in the pan, I'll sprinkle in chocolate chips. And then when it's done, we fill it with ice cream and sprinkles and maybe some fruit if you really want.
Right.
And syrup. Sugar, and then caramel or fudge,
So,
and then whipped cream.
So by this stage, you know, the pancake is really secondary to the entire meal,
Pretty
which
much.
is just sugar and cream.
My kids, every time they would have a sleepover, all of their friends would come over, and my kids would be like, "You're gonna make pancakes, right?"
Yeah.
I suppose. So then it was just like, Amy would have to mix the batter, and I'd be putting them in the oven and taking them out, and rotating.
We're going to do this a little more traditional Dutch style. The Dutch way is to have some lovely, what we call jam in England. What do you call this?
It depends.
Yeah.
Because we have jelly, jam, and preserves.
Right. What is this? This is a fruit spread, so none of those things. But I've had this before. It's really nice. It's close to English jam, or European jam, should I say. Blackberry, and we're going to just sprinkle some powdered sugar over the top. And we're going to do some bacon, because this is America, and you can't have pancakes without bacon.
Right.
All right. All right, so yeah. Oh, we're just waiting for that.
Yeah, that one goes much quicker.
Yeah, look at that. You can smell that beef. Oh, that's starting to smell good.
Mm-hmm.
You see, what's nice is I think we're going to have too much for the pies. We've overdone it on the vegetables slightly. So we'll make the pies, but I told him how many to do.
I didn't ask on the onion though. I just did the whole onion, and I pulled out the 2 packs of mushrooms and just.
Yeah, right. But the lovely thing is it's basically a stew. Yes. So anything that we don't use, you can pack up, you can freeze, and then you've got like a nice, easy, quick stew. You know.
I do happen to have 2 little mini steaks in my freezer.
There you go. Lovely. Yes, because we'll get as much of the beef out to put in the pies as we can. But yeah, lovely. I'm actually going to take a little sneaky peek at it. Okay, I'm going to put some more of this in. It's looking a little bit. Yeah, I want to cover it. I don't want the vegetables to dry out on top, you know. That's quite a lot of broth, but that means there'll just be more gravy, which is fine.
Oh my god, I just got the whiff of that smell. That's so good. That's one thing I've never done is I haven't really cooked much with alcohol.
Right.
And what I have, it's not technically alcohol.
Well, no, I mean, all you're really ever doing, you're never really cooking with the alcohol, because
it burns out.
It goes away. Yeah, so all you're trying to find is the flavours that are in there. And that's why this is nice and hearty, because that malty, chocolatey, stout flavour is going to just soak up. Yeah. But,
this is where the one part where I'm a disgrace as a cook, because if you open that cabinet and look at it, you're going to see that it's...
this one?
Yes, there's going to be a bottle in the back on the side there of white cooking wine.
Right, yes.
And cooking sherry.
Oh, right.
Technically, if you ask other people, they're just going to tell you it's basically just freaking vinegar.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to cook with alcohol, I always think it's worth getting the real thing, you know? I mean, like when I cook Italian, I like to put red wine in. I don't drink white wine. Otherwise, when I did fish, I would always put white wine with it, you know, make a white wine sauce.
And that's why I think I've always done that. Because like my beef stroganoff that I make at least once a month uses white wine. But I've always just used that because we don't drink it here.
Right, yeah.
So I don't want to get like a whole bottle and then you're like, But I suppose I could get those little baby bottles.
There you go, yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. And here's a hot tip. Don't buy American wine. It's awful. Sorry, America. I mean, there's some nice ones. There are some nice rosés, but a lot of a red wine is always a little too sweet.
Which I love.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's for the American palate, you know. But there's some nice rosés. That's true. I've not had it. As I say, I don't drink white wine, but I'm a bit of a. I don't know. I would have to go and buy something French, I'm afraid.
Well, they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never been one for, like Cabernets, and I like really sweet.
Right. So you like Like all the Californian reds, they're quite sweet, aren't they? Yeah. Well, all the Californian reds. Every single Californian red wine is quite sweet. There you go. That's the wine tip from the Englishman. All Californian red wine is sweet. You can tell I've had a beer and a half. Gosh. Alright. But yeah, I like to cook with, I'll cook with whiskey sometimes, you know. I use it for sauces and things, you know. It's, you know, just adds, I can't even tell you what it adds, but it adds something,
right.
You know.
Well, I have a feeling this is going to probably become a staple in this house now.
Mm. Oh, we're 100 degrees away.
I know.
So yeah, this is actually the least interesting part of the cooking, is doing a pancake in the oven, because it's like mix in.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's okay. So we'll need a pan to fry up some bacon while that's in there.
So our temperature is ready.
Yes. Okay. So here we are. The oven is nice and warm. We've got a nice hot piece of cast iron here. Oh, you see, now you can see it smoking. All right. We have 4 tablespoons of butter. Just going to drop that in.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of butter. Can you ever have too much butter, Bert?
No.
I don't think that's even a thing, is it?
No, the great Julie child, she just loves her butter.
Butter. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, now all we're going to do, just give that a quick whisk and then just pour it over, cover the whole bottom of the pan. Oh yes, delicious. Look at that, that looks perfect already. And then that goes in the oven for 20 minutes.
Alexa, set a pancake timer for 20 minutes.
Pancake timer is not as funny as potato timer.
No, it's not.
There you go.
And you can probably hear my laundry, I apologize.
But that's how to make a Dutch baby. Okay, that's perfect. That's come out really lovely. Nice and crispy, nice and golden, buttery, light and fluffy. I think it deserves a photograph. That is a Dutch baby pancake.
That much?
That's fine, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you know how to make roast potatoes, don't you?
Yes, but
Yeah.
everybody does it different.
Right, yes. So I like to parboil them, and then I like to give them a little bit of a smash,
Okay.
so that the outsides get fluffy, and then put them into the hot oil. But for me, it's all about what you do after they're roasted.
Okay.
So once you get them fluffy and crispy, I like to. This is a recipe I stole from Smash Burgers, of all places. I like to put some. Do you have rosemary? I'm sure you have rosemary.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and do you have a pestle and mortar?
No.
Do you have a processor little thing that we can dust it up?
Yes.
There we go. So a little rosemary, a little salt, a little olive oil, and a little sugar, and just toss them all in that, and there they come out so delicious. And you'll be able to tell me how delicious they are tomorrow.
Yeah, normally when I do roast potatoes, I just throw them on a pan and put them in the oven.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's basically all it is, isn't it? You know, so we're going to put this in here. I don't want to get too much of those bacon bits in because they can
Burn.
Yeah, but it also it adds the wrong colour. You know, it's going to make them come out a little too brown and dark. I don't want to try and get them nice and golden. And actually, that can go into this oven while it heats up.
And I'm going to keep... As he's doing all this cooking, I'm just going to stand here and drink my mimosa.
Well, which is exactly how it should be in a kitchen, you know. Every kitchen needs 3 things. A good stove, a cook, and a big old lush drinking. Saying, make me food, bring me the finest wines known to humanity. I'm going to continue to drink because I have little else to do today. Well, that's not true, but true enough.
I literally have nothing else to do today.
Oh. So look at this. I've been cooking in the kitchen of tomorrow, and you have cooking with you today, Bert, has cost me about $600.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need one of those, I need some of these, and there's so many toys that I need.
Well, did you notice my little spinny rack has...
Oh. Oh my gosh.
a built-in spoon rest, and then
That's
you can just put it away.
Wonderful.
Pampered Chef has that available too.
Pampered Chef has everything
They
that
really do think of stuff for people.
They seem to have everything that I didn't even know I needed.
Right?
Do you know what I think we might do as well? I think since we're doing special potatoes, let's put a bit of garlic in with those as well. I think what we're going to do... Okay, so here's a little technique. I don't know if you're aware of this technique. What we're going to do is we're just going to... I'm going to grab a few... Oh, look at that lovely big cloves. We're just going to take some cloves in their paper still and just throw them in the pan. Yeah. And we'll take the biggest bits of paper off. And if you're a fan of garlic, I am. So I will just eat those when they come out. But you don't have to. What it does is it just puts some garlic flavour into the oil. Yeah. I think that will be lovely.
Well, and I've heard, because people use the paper, save the papers for making their own stock, because there's still a lot of flavour in the shell.
In the paper itself, yeah, it does have some, yeah. Yeah, you can use it like just into a gravy, yeah. That's a good idea. I'm glad you thought of that. Right.
I sure did.
To the time in the pie, won't it?
How much rosemary are we going to need?
Not much. You know.
Let's see if this will work.
I think, yeah, that'll be enough. Yeah.
Good.
No.
And that one's too big.
I tell you what. Let's just do it old school. Let's put a little bit of touch of salt on it, and then a nice big kitchen knife and just rock it. Yeah, there you go. Nice and there you go. Look at that. I just want to break them up because if they're too big, then they can.
Right.
You know. I mean, we don't need it for an hour, but. Yeah.
At least then I feel like I used.
Well, also for our wonderful viewers out there in the internet. Hello, the internet.
Maybe that's what I need to get. They have Pampered Chef actually also. We should just consider this a commercial for Pampered Chef. I think they have an herb mill that I should pick up.
Well, I used to have, it's a long time ago now, I had, it was like a little square wooden chopping board, but it was like dished out very slightly.
Yes.
And there was like it had like a double-handled curved blade. So you put your herbs in the bottom and you just rock it back and forth.
See,
it was just right for doing herbs.
Genius.
Yeah. Alright, boiling water. I can just go. Woo! Straight in. Lovely. Alexa, set a potato timer for 5 minutes.
Potato timer, 5 minutes. Starting now.
That's wonderful. Mm. 5 minutes. Just long enough for me to tell you a joke in the style of Geoffrey Chaucer. Yeah, you're a fan of ancient English literature?
Let's say that.
Okay. I know you're a fan of Renaissance type stuff, so let me tell you this. 3 fellows went into a pub, and merrily their hands did rub, in expectation of revelry, for 'twas the hour that is happy. Great bottles of wine they did quaff, and had a really good laugh, till drunkenness held full dominion, for 'twas 2 for the price of 1. Now after wine and mead and sack, a man must have a massive snack. Great pasties from Cornwall, Scottish eggs round like a ball. Roasted duck and quail and geese, they sucked the bones and drank the grease. One fellow stood, all pale and wan, for he was vegetarian. Now man knoweth that gluttony stroketh the fires of lechery. Pon 3 young wenches round and sly, the fellows cast a wanton eye. Soon they caught them pon their knee, 'twas like some grotesque puppetry. The lewdness it would make one ill, 'twas like a sketch by Benny Hill. Except Benny Hill is not yet born, so this comparison cannot be drawn. But then the fellows began to pale, for quail are not the friend of ale. In their bellies much confusion, from their mouths vile extrusion. Stinking foul corruption came spewing forth from drooling lips. The fetid stench did fill the pub, 'twas the very arse of Beelzebub. Thrown they were from horn and trumpet, in the street, no coin, no strumpet. Homeward they must quickly go, and to that end a donkey stole. Their fingers all with vomit greased, the donkey, well, he was not pleased. He threw them in a ditch of shite, they all agreed. What a brilliant night! Thank you very much, sir. Well, that's timed perfectly, isn't it?
That was perfect. I could never. That was my one thing. I could never. Let me rephrase this. It's really hard for me to memorize something like that. That would be that long.
Speech, right? Yeah. So I actually went when I was younger. When I was 18, I went to drama school.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't get along with it. It wasn't for me. But I've always had that kind of performer in me. You know?
You're very good at it. So how soft are we looking for those to be?
Really, all we're trying to do, that's why we drop them into boiling water, we're just trying to cook the outside so they can fluff up, and that way the oil can get into the potato, but it's not going to go all the way through.
Okay.
So the oil will be nice and hot now. We'll put it in and it will basically fry the outside.
Okay.
And then the heat over the next 40 minutes or so will cook the potato. I've done them quite small, because I like my roasties quite small. I think they come out nicer. But you can do them big and chunky.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, what is happening?
I just wanted to be.
Your potato timer is done.
Thank you, Alexa.
Alexa, stop.
Oh my gosh. See, you've had enough of Alexa. I'm still saying thank you to her. Like, Alexa, just stop. Oh my god. Okay, so look at that. This is actually the perfect colander. It's doing all the work for me. That's wonderful.
Pampered Chef.
Pampered Chef. Welcome to Buy Pampered Chef stuff with Bert and Sam. So
Nice.
look at how fluffy and delicious they look.
Yes.
Oh yes. Now, this is the dangerous point. Hot oil. Oh, lovely. I'm going to put a bit of salt and pepper on this. Actually, let's actually put some salt and pepper on. That's not going to work. Yeah, that's good. A little more. You know, the best cooking tip I was ever given: use less salt than you think you need and more pepper than you think you need.
Really?
Yeah.
I always am dangerous with pepper because I always apparently use too much.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not everybody's taste, is it? I guess some people are not fans. We're just going to turn this over so they're nice and coated in this hot oil. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
They look good already.
yes.
There we are. Oh yeah. And they can go in. Can you set me another potato timer for 40 minutes, please?
You can go
Oh!
ahead and do it. You know how.
I know how, and I've even forgotten the lovely, wonderful idea that you had earlier about putting garlic in this. So some whole cloves of garlic. Let's get them all oily. Hey Alexa, set me a potato timer for 40 minutes, please.
Potato timer, 40 minutes. Starting now.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Now we have 40 minutes to wait for that. They will come out, we'll make the pies. While the pies are cooking, we'll do the sprouts. Excuse me. Hey Alexa, show me the timers.
She didn't hear you.
Hey Alexa, show me the timers.
Here are your timers.
40 minutes. Oh, so that's got 10 minutes. But we need to let that cool. Perfect. So we now have 40 minutes to kill.
All right.
Yeah. So this has had 2 hours in the oven, so it's a wonderful stew now. It's going to look and smell delicious. We can turn this oven off, I think. I'll let you do that.
The bottom one?
Yeah. For now.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. There we go.
Oh, yum.
See that?
Yes.
Okay. So basically what we've made here is a delicious stew.
Mmm.
Because we want to get as many of these
Out.
little bits out as we can. We can see how all the
Yep.
leaves have made their way into the mix. Because what we need to do is let it cool down, so that when we put it in the pie, it doesn't melt all the fat that's in the pastry. Because that would be gross. You're a better baker than me. Why would that be gross?
Because it'll have a soggy bottom.
There you go. What we don't need is soggy bottoms.
Nope. Paul would be so upset. And so would Mary Berry.
Actually, this is reduced down quite nice. I think you are going to have some nice stewed vegetables left over.
Woot woot.
But actually, this is going to be quite nice for the pie. Let's be brave. Can you do some? You're on ladle duty.
Yes.
Do it this way. Ow!
Would you like the mitt?
No, I've got it. Okay, there we go. Look at that.
There we go.
Excellent.
Oh,
Look at that. I mean, it looks good without even being a pie.
yes.
Okay, so we need to let that stand for a little while so it cools down.
Okay.
And then we're going to start creating the pies. Then we're going to bake our pies.
Awesome.
Look at that.
All right, we're ready.
And we're back. Okay. So now our meat has cooled.
Yep.
Now you're the pastry expert. I noticed this one has a slight crack in it. It's probably going to be okay, but you might want to brush some egg or something into
Yes.
that one, just to seal it up a little. Yeah, smash the egg. So literally, this is the easiest bit of the day. Let's start getting some of this. So we want to try and. We want some of the gravy. Actually,
But not
do you
too much, right?
Yeah. Actually, this is not quite the right spoon. Do you have like a slotted spoon? A fairly big one? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh. What a mighty spoon. Okay. So yeah, you want just the gravy that comes with the filling, really. Oh yes. Seems all carroty on one side. Let's try and make that a little more even. What do you think?
Oh, it looks amazing.
A little more? Well,
You're the expert.
Well, I don't know. Let's switch them round and see how we go. We put them both about that way. Oh, look at that. Right, and we will spoon a little of the gravy in. just so that it's nice and moist and nice and rich. And this here, we're going to keep this to one side because you can stick that in a pan, reduce it down, and then you've got nice gravy to go with your roasties.
Wonderful.
Yeah. The best way to do it is shortcrust pastry on the bottom. I think these are shortcrust, but I'm not sure. I don't think either of us were sure. And then nice puff pastry on top. So we each have a piece of puff pastry. Let's build a pie.
Never made a pie before.
Wow, look at that. I'm glad your first time was with me, Bert. Okay, this is where we need the egg. Actually, we've done this so wrong. Look at us. We need to paint some egg around the outside. Thank you. Marvellous.
And then we just pinch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just press it down and make a seal.
Now, have you ever used pie birds?
Pie bird? I do not know what that is.
So apparently it's a little ceramic bird
Mm-hmm.
that you put in the middle of your pie, and it's shaped and so that it's up and its mouth is open.
Oh!
To help fence.
Right, yes. I know exactly the thing you mean. Now you say it, now you describe it. No, what we're going to do, we're just going to pierce. We got old school. Because Pampered Chef has had enough of our money.
They actually don't have pie birds. They're actually
What?
I guess they're a little harder to find because they're not as in use as much.
Right, yeah. Oh, and that oven is at 400.
That's for the roasties.
Right, yes, that's fine. Then we're going to put these pies in that oven and take the roasties out.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can do some funky stuff with the roasties and then do the sprouts. Then we can just paint the whole top to give it a nice glaze so it comes out all golden and shiny. There we go. A little bit of embellishment around the edge. I think we can take those roasties out now. Marvellous! Look how beautiful they look. Let's get those in the oven. They'll need 20 minutes. And we can check them in 20 minutes, see how they look. Okay. Oh, you hear that sound?
Yeah.
That's some crispy potatoes. We have that. Where's that rosemary that you chopped up earlier? Behind me. Okay. Do you want to drizzle some olive oil over that? Just a little bit. A little salt and pepper. Oh, and just can you just sprinkle a pinch of sugar on there for me as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Not too much. I don't want to make them sweet. I just want to sort of balance the salt out. That's all.
That much?
A little more. Yeah, there you go. There's salt. Not too much pepper. I don't want to make them hot. Okay, now try one of those. They might be still hot because they've just come out of the oven, so be careful. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, let it cool for a minute. Excellent. Okay, so we have some boiling water here. You see how much we've utilised our cast iron today?
Yes.
We're going to use it again to do these sprouts. It's already hot. It's got all that lovely potato oil in it.
Bacon.
And oh yes, it's got all the good stuff. Drop those into some boiling water just to blanch them. That's on high. That's warming up. Oh, did I miss a couple? There you go. Right. Delicious, huh?
They are delicious.
Yeah. And I say, if you're a fan of the garlic, there's some nice roasted garlics in there. They come when you roast them like that. They take on like a nutty flavour. It's nice. So yeah, we just want to really do most of the cooking there. So we're only going to put them in here just to like crisp them up and add some flavour. I know, isn't it beautiful? I keep coming back to this now. This is my favourite knife. I thought the big one was my favourite, but it's actually this one. So useful. Oh yeah, I think they're good. Let's give them a couple more minutes. Now another thing that is quite nice to do when you do sprouts like this, I'm just going to do it with balsamic for now. Largely because you're eating later, but what's quite nice is when you do it, some parmesan. Once you cook them, you set them in a bowl, and much the same as potatoes, toss some shredded parmesan in them. Delicious. There we go. Okay. I am sorry, Bert, that you have so much washing up to do after my visit today. I mean, do you know what? It's my pleasure to come and, like I said to you earlier, to come and cook for someone else, to have other people enjoy my food, you know. But the thing is, you know, of course, you cook, especially during the week when you're working, it becomes a bit routine. Yeah. So it's nice to come out and, you know, cook something. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just these and these out in a bowl so that everybody can try them when they're fresh out, because that's when they're best. Okay. So, but you'll be able to, like I say, just refire it in the oven later on when you're ready to eat. Okay, to me, they're done. Okay. Do you have another one of those bowls? A little more salt. And some balsamic vinegar. Yeah. Try one of those. Crispy, vegetably.
I'm usually not a Brussels sprout person, but those are delicious.
A lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts because they're used to being served overcooked, soggy, mushy.
Yes.
Yeah. You've got to undercook them. Okay. And now we're just waiting for the pies. Let's go and share these with the folks outside. Look at the wonderfulness that we have made. One pie. Wonderful. Two pies. Full of delicious beefy goodness.
Yes.
There we go.
Look at those.
Yeah. That's it. Reduce down the gravy.
Don't need to add anything to it to thicken it up. Just
No, you should just be able to boil it down for a few, like 5 minutes or so.
okay.
Pour it over, add to this. It's going to be wonderful. This was a lot of fun, but I had a great time. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody enjoys. I hope you enjoy the roasties. I'm jealous of the roasties. I might have to go make those myself at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Steak and stout pie.
Yes.
Cooking with Sam and Bert.
In kilts.
In kilts. All right.
All right.
So what do you think?
Well, I just ate the potatoes and the sprouts. And so far, they're delicious. So, stout,
And steak pie.
steak and stout pie. Okay. It was very good. It's a lot of veggies. It's a lot of flavor.
I agree. It just melts in your mouth. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.